Who would be convinced Zion's an all-timer after 10 games?
But are you surprised it's been so easy for him?
I'm blown away. I am absolutely blown away. I played the center position in the NBA. Zion, I didn't think he'd be listed at center. I thought he'd be more of a power forward. But going at Steven Adams is one of the more elite post defenders in the NBA. I know the guy holds the no layup rule, and I compete against Steven. So ultimately, when I see what Zion did, going through the chest of Steven Adams, I am blown away. If I'm looking at Zion's scouting report right now, the way that they're playing him, force the jump shot, back up, contest his shot, make him score over you. Well, here's the reality now, Nick. He's scoring over you. So those NBA...
He's just bullying Steven Adams there.
It's a mix of a bully and footwork because he's got one of the quickest first steps I have ever seen, and he's an intrigue. I think the rest of the league is trying to figure out who is Zion? How do you guard him? We saw Trevor Ariza trying to guard him the other night. Do you put your 4? Do you put your 5s on him? But he's able to get to spots and just elevate up over you. I do think at the end of the day, it's going to come tougher for him. He's going to have his work cut out. I know that the hype is LeBron James. He's no LeBron James. Nick, I know you're incredibly high on him. I'm going to pump the brakes a little bit, but I'll say right now the success that he's having early, I am blown away. My only questions moving forward to the success that you may talk about and others see is everything is at the rim. Everything's at the rim. And I know the Rockets are redefining small ball. That's going to help him out. But ultimately, how much can he do scoring 3 and 4 and 5 feet away from the basket?
Right now, he don't need to. And this is why I'm not surprised at all. This is why this is exactly what I anticipated from Zion. And why I thought, as much as I like Ja, was Ja Morant the better #1 overall pick? With the conversation that was being had when Zion was out with an injury was so absurd. Some things in sports make perfect sense. You know what made perfect sense? Randy Moss's rookie year. Oh, so we've got this guy who's the tallest receiver in the league, the fastest receiver in the league, and can jump higher than any receiver in the league. Oh, yeah, he's going to dominate. And he walked into pro football from Marshall and gave you 1,300 yards and 17 touchdowns because, well, of course, like, he's the biggest, the fastest, can jump the highest. Zion Williamson walks into the NBA as strong as the strongest, can jump higher than the highest, and is damn near as fast as the fastest. That translates. Simple. It is simple for him. He does not yet have to expand his game to be an all-star. If he wants to be an MVP, which he will be, he has to expand his game.
Agreed.
But he can be 23 points a night without ever improving, as long as the athleticism maintains. As long as he has this level of athleticism, especially because you alluded to the Rockets small ball lineup. In the modern NBA, it's not like it's the mid-90s. And one night you've got Robinson to go against, and one night Ewing, and one night Olajuwon, and one night Mutombo. Yeah. One of the strongest guys in the league is Steven Adams, who got his lunch eaten yesterday. You're going to have to play, if you're Zion, Milwaukee twice a year. Milwaukee's got Giannis, got Brook Lopez, got a ton of big bodies. I think the Raptors, even though they don't have the strength, they have such length, they could present some problems for him at the rim. There are a couple teams, the Lakers, oddly, actually, because Anthony Davis and JaVale and Dwight, they have the length and Dwight has the strength. But that might be the list of teams that have the bodies to throw at Zion at the rim. Everyone else, he's just going to get to his spot and eat you alive. And so it makes sense that Zion is this. I don't think he's LeBron because their games are so different. But where he has a similarity to LeBron, Ryan, is LeBron walked in the league and it's like, oh, 6'8", best athlete in the league, can jump as high as anyone in the league. He will at the very least be able to do what some of the things he did in high school to pros, and that part is translated.
Is it that you weren't as high on Zion when he came out? Is that why you're so surprised right now?
I question how's a guy going to get to the rim and score over 7-footers and 6'11" guys and guys that are just as athletic. Normally that doesn't always translate. My question was the footwork. It is improved. It's not amazing, but literally he gets to spot A and he jumps straight vertical and scores the basketball. Now, here's the concern, and everybody's expressed this. You have a 280-pound pogo stick. So when he gets in the lane and he jumps and everything's rim, layup, That's so much torque on the knee, and I know the cause for concern for the Pelicans. How's he going to last? Obviously, we all agree the game's going to have to expand. I love his work ethic. That's probably the one thing I am optimistic about. He's working on his three-point shot. He's still figuring out his footwork. But for right now, he's expanding, and he's playing excellent at what he does best. I think of Blake Griffin. Blake was even different because we've never seen a guy jump this quick, and he's a little undersized. So I think for right now, the scouting reports aren't out. The league still has to figure out, hey, man, what do we do with a guy like this? Think about Ben Simmons. When Ben Simmons was tearing the league up, I want to say his second year, well, his second rookie year, whatever it was, you watch Ben Simmons play downhill, downhill, downhill. And what teams do when they'll guard Ben Simmons, you'll back up and you'll let him come to the paint. Now, for a driver, that's almost what he wants because he gets zero resistance. So at some point, teams are going to go out and crowd Zion. They're going to force him to dribble. They're not going to give him that running start because he's athletic enough to take that start and score over you.
Agreed, but for Ben, and one of the reasons some people think he's playing out of position is because he doesn't have a shot and refuses to shoot. Zion at least will shoot. I don't think he's made a three since that first game of his career when he made 4 of them. Ben is at a disadvantage given his weakness because he's trying to run the offense. Yeah. Zion's not being asked to run the offense. He's playing the dunker spot, or he's playing a spot a lot of people think Ben should be playing. But what he's doing up to this point, I can't say it's unprecedented, but the only precedent is Shaquille O'Neal. I think we can show it. 10 games in, 22 points, at least 50% from the field. Okay, I'm sorry. Jordan, Shaq, Zion. And it should be noted, Zion's only playing 27 minutes a night. So those per 36, do quick math in my head, bump that up by 33%. We're talking about if he were playing 36 minutes, if the production were to stay the same, he's up around 28 points per night. There you go.
I was doing it also
and the 58% is unbelievable. And so I think this will keep up for as long as he wants it to until his game expands.
I just don't think it's a championship. I like 20 and 10. I question help. When I saw LeBron, I saw a championship. When I saw Shaq, I saw a championship. When we saw Michael Jordan, we saw. I don't see that from Zion, but I'm heavily impressed.
Yet. Could you say yet?
I think he's saying projecting
He's got to change his game. He has to show me more in his basketball game, and I'll be convinced right there. But as set, no, I don't see it. But I'm highly impressed.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.